In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, hello everybody, how are you doing? We're doing great with the mercy and grace of Almighty Allah. My name's NA Saqib. I'm your Usman 2 IELTS trainer. Additionally, been also teaching the students of spoken English for the last 20 years at the platform of Genius Institute, Lahore. My today's lecture, once again, will be about reading subtest of the IELTS, and it will be divided in two parts. The part one will deal with how to practice reading. It's for the starters or the beginners. And second part, also for the beginners, and it deals with actually my personal formula and strategy, that is first training, then testing. So let's get started. As you know about reading, Francis Bacon said that reading makes a full man. It means it grooms your personality. And reading actually is like the listening, which are passive receptive skills. Whereas, or on the other hand, writing and speaking are the active productive skills. So through reading, you receive lots of information. As a matter of fact, general reading can do wonders in the development of your personality, really, undoubtedly. And on the lighter note, if you start doing a bit of extensive reading, you will start reading between the lines. You'll have this ability. So, what I mean to say in this lecture is actually more and more general reading will enable you to be proficient in language. It will also build up your speed and vocabulary. You got to make sure while doing a bit of general reading, for example, the newspapers, while reading the newspaper or a magazine, make sure you practice more on getting a general idea, number one, and underlining or catching the keywords, and number three, recognizing the topic sentence at the start of each paragraph. Because the long writing text is actually divided in different paragraphs, and at the start of each paragraph you will find most probably the topic sentence. If it is not the first sentence, it might be the second sentence. So three things should be kept in mind. You must have the general idea when you are doing a general reading, general idea of the text. Secondly, you must catch the keywords, key phrases. And number three, you must recognize the topic sentence at the start of each paragraph. So my dear friends, this strategy will give you perfect practice for the IELTS exam. You know, there is no doubt about that. In the beginning, you can take the Sunday newspaper, for example. You can buy a Sunday newspaper, of course, an English newspaper. There are lots of newspapers available in the market. For example, Jung and Geo newspaper, that's the news. Pakistan Times, Dawn, and The Nation. Lots of the Frontier Post may be available in the market. So catch one out of them. You can't read all the newspapers at one time. You can catch with your own convenience, with the hawker can make you available with. So, and start reading it. And it's got enough material for you to read for the rest of the week. And you can read the columns and the articles. There are lots of sections of the newspaper you can read with your own convenience and with your own interest, to be more exact. If you are interested in reading the politics, there is a section for the political news. And if you are, looking forward to reading about economics, there is other page, and sports similarly. There are some national news, international news. So it all depends on your area of interest. You can start reading from somewhere. And when you will start reading, actually exercise speed reading techniques. The universal techniques like skimming and scanning and underline the key or important words in it as well. Now, for example, I'm going to give you the main strategy or my personal formula. That's a part 2 of this lecture today. And that is even more important. If you practice initially with this formula, it's going to give you a lot of confidence. It'll boost your morale, and it'll make you get ready for the real-time test of reading subtest of the IELTS. First of all, number one, how you have to practice this formula. Select a reading test from Cambridge IELTS practice book available in the market. There are lots of books available in the market of Cambridge practice books. And write down, select one test out of it, the reading test of course we're talking about, and then write down all 40 answers of that test on a plain paper sheet. So you got all the 40 answers in front of you of the test. And number 2, read and understand questions. It's important to understand the questions. The more you understand the questions, the better you are in a position to find out the answers. So you've got answers already in front of you. Then you have gone through the questions. Because already you know what the answers. So they've got the questions and answers. Now, on the third stage, what you're going to do, try to find out the location of the answer in the text. This is the most important thing. It will take time. It is really a time-consuming activity. But you must do it. You can't get rid of doing it before starting your real-time testing. So, try to find out the location of the answers in the text. This is the most important thing of this formula. So when you will do this kind of training practice, or you can initially have any setting of the time limit. There is no need for, but you don't bother about the time. It may take few hours in completing this activity. And what will you achieve by doing this exercise or this training? By using this training formula, you will be able to become familiar with the nature and the nitty-gritty of the reading subtest of the IELTS. I can guarantee you this can actually put you on the road of success. Using this formula or strategy or technique or training exercise, you must at least attempt 4 tests while keeping the written answers in front of you and while trying to find the location of the answers using this strategy or this formula. Then training session is over. I told you that it is going to give you a lot of confidence. It will also boost your morale for sure. Then afterwards you can start real-time testing with a set time limit. That is 1 hour. You can divide your time for 3 passages, like 15 minutes to the first passage, 15 minutes to the second passage, and of course the third one is the most difficult one, and you must allocate 30 minutes for that passage. Or you can change your time distribution accordingly. It suits you, and you have got to see what works best for you as far as the time management skill is concerned. After, as I told you, that training session is over, you should start doing the real-time testing. So it's gonna give you ample confidence, and certainly it will boost your morale. So practice this proven formula in the real-time testing of the reading will become a big success for you. I guarantee you. So this is a tried and trusted and proven formula. I've been telling my students for ages, and they've been showing brilliant performance and giving excellent results. Thank you very much indeed, my dear friends. It was the kind of lecture which I wanted to tell you today, and I hope you would have understood it. And don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel, Genius Institute Lahore, for future useful videos on spoken English and IELTS. Until then, God bless you all. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.